Hey, it's Ben, and this is Drambo by BeepStreet. This video is going to be about a shift register module or rack that you can get in download from patch storage. I'll show you how you can use it, talk a little bit about how it works, and then explain how you could easily extend this rack. So a shift register, my limited understanding of it is basically like a series of sample and holds that kind of work in sequence. And so you get a trigger, first sample and hold, like saves the value. When you get a second trigger, you kind of move the first value into the second sample and hold. The new value goes into the first sample and hold. And then on the next trigger, the first value bumps down to a third memory position. The second one goes to the second position, and then the new one takes its place, and so on and so on. So it's really useful for notes because you can kind of make these little like melodic patterns just from one trigger. So basically what this is doing is I have 4 different instruments, 4 MIDI operators, or FM operators, and they each have their own MIDI to CV. And then I have 3 of these shift register racks. They're MIDI racks. But basically that is just to hold a pitch and then like hold a pitch that's going to be used and then also like pass on a pitch to the next one on the next trigger. And I have the FM operators delayed so you can sort of get like a little strum sound and you can hear the different pitches. So if we were just starting off, I now have 3 memory slots in the shift register, and they're all saving just middle C, C2. So you can hear them all go together. But when I play a new note, one trigger, you get that first note, but then the other like saved notes are going to trigger afterwards. And then I can add a new note in. So it's kind of like, here it sounds like an echo because I have it delayed, but it's basically like the notes will kind of follow each other as you play along. And you don't have to have any delay. That's not part of the shift register. So it's just kind of a cool effect. You can hear that there's some like relation between the notes that are played, but it all kind of happens that you might not be paying attention to it. Real quick, I'm going to quantize all of the notes that I'm putting in, just so I don't play any bad notes for you. Open up a MIDI rack. We'll do a MIDI to CV quantizer, and we'll just say I want it in C minor, and then we'll make a note generator. And so now you will hear no bad notes. And I'm playing in C minor. So it's just kind of this fun thing that you can do, especially with like an arpeggiator or something, or when you add in the delay, it can sound really interesting. And you can do this in poly too. For the notes, or like the instruments themselves. But then also, I think the shift register will actually work in poly, which can open up some cool sort of things. So yeah. I don't know, I think it's fun. You just play one note and you get this like whole little series. It's kind of remembering what you played before. So when we open this up, all that's really happening is you have a MIDI rack. MIDI to CV is converting the MIDI data into control voltage. We are sample and holding the pitch on a gate. So when I hit a note, it's receiving some pitch and it's going to hold that in place. Then afterwards, you have this gate inverter, and that is basically, let's add an oscilloscope in. So when I'm not holding down a note, the gate is on. When I am holding down a note, the gate's off. So when I let go of a note, it's sending out a trigger to the next sample and hold. And it's going to take its sample and its held value. And that's what gets used with the MIDI note generator. So it's listening for the pitch that's coming in, but it's going to play the pitch that came before that. Basically, that's how the shift register works. But it does that by, it holds the value here, and then when I let go, the value that just came in is going to get sent out to this one, this sample and hold, because of the gate inverter. And then the next note that I play in real life is the next trigger I hit is going to be the note that came before it. So once you play with this, I think it'll make more sense. But you can like really extend this structure just by like adding more of these shift registers. So I have 4 notes total here, but you could do this with 8 like shift registers. You can do it with 16. You can do whatever you want. It gets really kind of cool when you start messing around with like the chance modules or transposing, that kind of thing. So let's mess around with that. So what I might want to do, maybe like the first shift register, not chord, chance, and the fourth one, I don't want them to sound every single time. Maybe I want them to just be like, 50% of the time. Now, I'd still like to send on the pitches from them. So I am going to reroute. This shift register is going to get its MIDI from this shift register, so the pitches are always moving through the chain. And I'll do the same thing for this one. But the, well, I don't have to, because there's nothing after this one. So the note won't always play, but the pitch will always pass through. So let me just put in like a little sequence. And I can bring the chance down on these. And then, on this one, maybe I want to mess around with it. You could transpose one of these notes too. So you can start using your other so when you hear it, it's going to be like, it's a shift register, so it's a note that came before it that was played, but then it's also being going through a chance module. It's not playing all the time, and then that note is being transposed. So you can get these cool patterns that you might not be able to like sequence in, or even like that you'd think to play on your own, because it's playing 4 notes at a time, and you'd be keeping track of all the notes that you're playing. So I don't know. I think it's really fun. When you go and download this rack, it's going to be just the shift register. It's not going to have the other MIDI effects at all. And that's fine. We do need the MIDI to CV. So you won't have MIDI chance or anything like that. But I'll just open it up. So it's not actually going to have any instruments. It's just kind of set up for you. So all you'll have to do is put an instrument in front of the amp and it'll auto connect. So that could be an FM operator. That could be some other instrument that you have. Yes, you don't have to have the same sound either. It could really be like any sound that you have. Like another factory. That sounds wild. These are just some factory presets. So it's just ready for you when you go to patch storage, download it. There's no sounds in it. You need to put your own sounds in. And then, of course, it is you could turn it into a MIDI rack as well, and output MIDI just by adding a mixer. MIDI mixer, and then adding in all the shift registers so that you get the output of those modules. Anyways, if you have any questions or you have ideas about how this could be more useful, let me know in the comments. And if you want to extend on this and just like upload it to patch storage, you can do that too. Please, if you make something really cool and fun, first send it to the developer, BeepStreet, and then also make sure to upload it to patch storage if you want to share it with other people. But the developer is looking for like nice, cleanly built instrument modules. So like nice sounds that are sort of like organized well and you think other people would like. All right, have fun.